right, we're joined by two of my favorite guys, Timmy
TJ and Freddie.
And we got to figure out a way to say Garrett Smithley really cool too. So, guys, thanks for coming on.
I said it really loud one time.
Oh, that's good. So, Timmy, we'll start with you, man. Obviously, last week's winner. I wanted to bring you onto this podcast just for the record, and Jason Schultz, who has stuck his head out of the thing for whatever reason. TJ, one of your kids is screaming in the background.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
But I wanted to bring you on last week, Timmy, and Jason wouldn't let us because he said you were going to be on the Dale Jr. Download. That fell through, and now you're on the best podcast. So welcome back to Door Bumper Cleveland.
Well, thanks for picking up the rain check and having me back on. So, heck yeah, we've been having a lot of fun these past couple of weeks.
So what did you do to celebrate last week's win, man?
Well, I think I've told people this. My wife comes up and gives me my big old glass of milk, and, of course, I love that. And then, of course, after that, we took a nice stroll through the neighborhood. My neighbors, they watch all these races, so they say, hell yeah, glad to see you win. And, man, several NASCAR fans in my neighborhood, so through our walk, normally it's about a 30, 40-minute walk. It took about an hour and a half. Everybody stopped me, talking to me. So that was nice. And had a nice dinner on our Pit Boss grill, did some grilling, had some shrimp, some burgers, some potatoes, had a nice dinner. So a nice laid-back celebration.
That's
Did
funny.
you say any food?
That's exactly how me and Brett would have celebrated. Milk and a walk. Exactly. It would have been exactly the same way over here.
That sounds much better than the meal Garrett had.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, what did Dale Jr. suggest you eat yesterday?
You can say we got a bleep button.
Yeah, we had to bleep that one. That's short track racing.
I felt bad for Garrett, so I was watching his Twitch stream, and Denny. I didn't think you guys got together in the heat race. Was it a heat race?
Oh, Denny? Yeah.
So I'm watching it.
Yeah.
And Denny says something to Garrett, and poor Garrett typed not an apology, but like his side of the story out 7 times before he actually sent it. Like he was trying to figure out the way he was going to tell Denny he was wrong, but being as nice as Garrett normally is. Like if it was me, I'd have been like, off, Denny. You're wrong. I didn't hit you, at least not on my screen. But Garrett was like, hey, I'm watching the replay. Hold on. Delete all that. I watched the replay. I didn't – hold on. Delete all that. So you can see, like, the anxiety in Garrett's face, or he has trying to figure out how he's going to apologize – or not apologize, but, like, stand up for himself without pissing Denny off anymore.
I think you should just do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't do it. He ran into me and then hit the wall, then blamed it on me. But he went back and said that he watched the replay, or Spotter did, and he said he was wrong. So it all worked out.
You drivers,
don't worry, man.
It's never y'all's fault. You drivers are the worst.
I got blamed yesterday for a virtual meet.
Virtually you got blamed.
That was so funny.
Yeah, so I don't know what you guys will know this a little bit. Brett and Freddie don't, but when you run your field of view in the mirror, I don't know what you guys run for your field of view, but if you don't fix that, the cars are like super long in the mirror. And Jimmy decided to clear himself a couple times, I guess. And I was watching his stream, and he has the car stretched out, so they're like the entire length of the mirror. I don't know what you guys run, but I can see why you would wreck when you have the cars like that. But
I don't think I've ever adjusted mine, but mine don't look like that in the mirror.
No, well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like, you know, with Timmy and I and William and some of the guys that have a little bit more iRacing experience, you kind of get used to whatever field of view that you have, and you don't really need a virtual spotter. Timmy, I don't know if you run a virtual spotter, but I don't. This is actually the first week that I've run like a real legit spotter, and that's just for the simple fact of everything happened so fast at Bristol, and knowing, especially for those heat races, that we didn't have cautions. If somebody wrecks and spins out, there's probably still going to be something there when we come back around. So that's the only reason that I had a real spotter this week. But you just get used to the field of view and used to kind of where your car is at on the track.
So also logged in there helping Jimmy was Cliff Daniels, Jake Nichols, who's a pro driver, I think, right?
I think so,
Isn't
yes.
Jake,
Yeah, I think so.
Ray Alfala and Lisa Pineda. He had a lot of help in there, so I can't really take blame for any of that.
Why is he sit so different than everybody else? Is that like an IndyCar setup? Like, why is he – it looks like he's like laid way back. His legs are way up.
I thought he changed that. Didn't he
did
change it?
that. Yeah, he changed that.
I saw a picture of him yesterday. It looked like the same thing. That might have been from the IndyCar race, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you guys,
IndyCar.
Timmy looks. I saw somebody tweet this, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody said Timmy looks like he could instantly shut iRacing down and sell insurance, which was pretty much true. And Garrett looks like he's leaning out of the chair half the time.
Yep.
Which,
I
don't.
Elbows up.
I had no idea that I leaned until I started streaming, and then everybody called me out on it. I had no idea. I thought that I was just driving normal.
You just fell out of the chair that one
I bet
day?
you have a hell of a time taking a drink or eating soup.
So, wow, we don't do that during iRacing.
Who do I always see? Like, I feel like you're in like a house of iRacers. Like, who's always in the background when I'm seeing your Twitches? Like,
dude, yeah, you got a lot going on there.
Yeah, there's always people like Brandon, my roommate. He sits over here, and I don't know. He said that he was asleep during the whole deal yesterday. So I don't know. Sometimes he's around, sometimes he's not.
Is that your living room or a bonus room or what is that?
Yeah, this is like my upstairs area. My bedroom's back there, and then downstairs kitchen, everything. So this is kind of like our bonus room. This is where we live pretty much. We got all the computers here.
So Garrett, you're on this fancy rig. Timmy is on a 1985 Gateway computer kicking y'all's ass. Timmy, I heard you got offered 2 different simulator rigs and you turned them down. Was that true?
Yeah. First off, I don't think I could get them in my upstairs room, my little bonus room I got. And I just didn't want to change anything. Heck, I finished top 3 at Homestead. I had an opportunity to get one for Texas, and I just didn't feel comfortable with it. I just kind of wanted to stick to my roots, and I kind of built the fan base around my small unit. So everybody kind of supported me for that. So
you can't, Timmy, you can't say that on this show. Do not ever say again. Don't ever say that again, ever.
First of all, Garrett just told me where his bedroom is at, and now you just told me you have a small unit. This conversation is going awry. Let's get to iRacing.
Going downhill real fast.
Can we edit that out?
All right, we've lost our edit button for this episode.
Thank goodness your wife's a school teacher. Thank goodness.
That's bad news because that means it's bad news. His wife's a school teacher. That means she knows how to read a ruler.
Shoot,
that's not 6 inches.
Boy.
Oh, this is going to be X-rated.
Hey, I mean, you talk about Garrett running an expensive setup. Garrett,
I got the same exact rig that Timmy's got.
He's on a folding chair.
Same exact wheel. I'm on a rolling chair. I got one screen.
I thought you were
there's a theme to this.
No. I don't have a rig.
Majeski, Timmy, Garrett, they all run on these rinky-dink things, and then they're running up front. Maybe
they saved the money and put it into their cars.
Yeah. Buying tires.
So serious question.
Lots of them.
I'll be asked aside. How many hours this past week did both of you guys spend getting ready for that race at Bristol?
I thought he was going to get asked about Timmy's unit.
I did considerably less than I did for Texas and Homestead, just because after I won Texas, I was filled with interviews and things I wasn't prepared for, so I didn't have any other practice. But typically, I'll do, and Garrett's probably the same way, probably four hours a day. And what that means is like a race. Garrett and I, we do a lot of public races with other public people, not necessarily cup drivers, but people who just use iRacing in general. And those races take about an hour each. So I'll do a couple of those a day. They take about an hour each, a little bit of practice, and it's easy to get to 4 hours.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Homestead, I did a lot of testing because I am terrible at Homestead on iRacing. Somehow I got the pole. Still don't know how I pulled that off. But Texas, I did a little bit less just because that everything was so draft-based and you really couldn't do long runs like you could alone in Homestead to try to save your tires. And then this week, I really didn't do anything until really Thursday. I kind of like Timmy. It's kind of been filled with media stuff and business stuff. It's been kind of crazy getting back to business as usual. We're selling sponsors. We're selling e-sponsors now, and it's been pretty crazy the past couple weeks. But no, probably did the least amount of testing for this race. It probably showed though. So unfortunately, it was our worst finish. But no, that's the good thing about iRacing. You got a reset button. You got as many cars as you want. You got as many tires as you want. You can go and run as many laps as you want during the week.
That's awesome. So we talked about this on our show today before you guys jumped on. a lot of the big teams aren't able to monetize this particular arena that we're in right now, this platform, right? So you guys being with the smaller cup teams, having some sponsorship opportunity. I mean, your cars on Sunday don't typically get a lot of TV time. Now your cars on Sunday with 1 million viewers are getting the majority of TV time. So are these guys, these sponsors, are they coming to you? Or are these sponsors you already had in your cup deal in real life that you're bringing into esports? Like, how's that working for you guys?
For me, it's both. Yeah, we got people who are brand new and we've never talked to before come to us and say, hey, love to be on your car, love to have this opportunity, and which is really nice because typically we're doing all we can to find these guys. We got to pick the phone up, email. We're begging to find these guys. So it's been a nice change of pace. But along with that, a lot of our existing sponsors are calling us up, say, hey, we'd love to do more races. And so it's definitely been a nice change of pace. Great to have television time, and it's been really a great blessing.
Yeah, we're very similar in that sense. We started kind of the first 2 weeks not really knowing what the scope of this deal was going to be, so we just reached out there. I reached out to a couple existing partners and said, hey, there's a big opportunity here, not really sure how it's going to go. And then after the first race on Fox Sports 1 getting 900,000 viewers, then we kind of knew this was kind of going to be a big deal. And then now Rickware Racing's kind of taken the helm, and they sold gunbroker.com. They used to be a sponsor in the sport. They're back in it. They really liked what we're doing, and now it's transferred over into a real race, and I'm going to get to run the Brickyard 400 later this year, hopefully, once we get back going.
That's what I was going to say. I know Timmy, you got your truck team and stuff. Are you – like these relationships, do you feel like they're going to carry over to when we do go back racing? Have you worked it into any contract deals where they're going to do some races on your cup car, some of your truck stuff, anything?
Yeah. We got several sponsors that are looking to do more races on my truck team, on our cup cars, on Xfinity cars, really all 3 series. So it's we're working on deals for multiple races, full season sponsors. The people are very interested in this. The only question mark we have is just when do we go back? When will we be back? And that's the biggest holdup right now. But we're getting close on a lot of things. So I'm excited to eventually go back real racing. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a lot more opportunities than we ever had before.
So this iRacing thing, it's obviously taken off. Do you see this thing, TJ, living in its own TV space once the real Cup, Xfinity, and truck races come back? Because obviously Friday through Sunday, there's not a lot of room for programming, right, around what we're doing. But during the week, could you see this becoming a thing?
Absolutely. I think they've already got their every 2-week deal. We're talking about them running our league. When this is all over, keeping the deal that we started that first weekend, the replacements, we're working on making that like a weekly thing after this all, we go back to the real racing. But I think you're going to see more and more of it. A lot of the races have been really good. The IndyCar stuff's been really good. I think I could definitely see it taking off. I've seen a lot of real series start, like the V8 Supercars has a series, IndyCar, NASCAR. There's a lot of real series. IMSA, they're all kind of following suit in it. So I could see it gaining traction and staying, being more relevant now that people were into it. This opened the door to a lot of people that didn't know anything about this. I've had to explain Twitch and iRacing, and I've had more people come to be like, hey, how do I join iRacing? How do I get on there? Than I have, in the last few weeks I've had in a year, so it's definitely opened a door to a lot of, and I think people like it. So, and kids are seeing it, getting more involved in it. There's going to be a lot of kids asking for computers and steering wheels for Christmas this year.
I could see it taking off a lot in the off season. I don't know what the hell if we're going to have an off season this year, but I could see us, running a damn 2-month 8 race, once a week schedule, with Saturday nights or something like that. I could see that happening like really easily, and having it on TV, that block off an hour and edit it down maybe a little, or just run shorter races. But I could see that coming about.
You two guys are really good at it, obviously, right? Have guys that aren't good at it, like Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer, who obviously sucks at it. We saw him yesterday bounce off of everything. I think he even hit the pace car. Like, are guys like that, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, have they come to you guys and said, hey, can you help us get better? Can you go run some laps with us? Have you heard from any of those guys?
Well, I think most of us drivers are kind of hard-headed in the fact that we think we know it all. So it's hard to reach out and say, hey, how can I help? I did get the chance to talk to Clint last week inadvertently. We got communicating about his setup, and there's a few things at the first race that we did was Homestead, and there's a big clip of Clint Boyer just piling into this wreck, act like he never slowed down for the wreck. And
Imagine that.
I got onto his I got on his rig, and he had like a anti-lock brake system on there, so if he were to jump on the brakes hard for a wreck, it just wouldn't slow down near quick enough. So I was like, man, you got to get that thing off there. So hopefully now he won't pile in the wrecks. A couple of adjustments I made on his deal, so I think he's looking better. But it's been neat to kind of talk
He ain't
to some
looking
of
no
these guys.
better. He's definitely not looking better.
Easy for you to say, huh?
Hey, Garrett had Clint's heat race go yesterday, Garrett.
Wasn't good. Wasn't good at all.
Brett didn't see it, and he asked me how it went. I said, no, I said he got in a wreck, and then he wrecked every car that tried to pass him on the way by as they left him.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I will say this to help Brett out a little bit on this too, is some of them guys that I mentioned that were in there with Jimmy, a lot of these guys that have teams bring their drivers in there. Like Denny had one of his guys in there helping him. A couple of them people in there with Jimmy were people from that's the VRS group, right? That
with Ray and all them, yeah.
VRS is a group of guys, is a group that they have a driving school online. So, and obviously Jimmy's been working with them, and they've been giving him tips and tricks and stuff like that. So he's got people in there that are coaching him during the race, and they can log in there as his spotter and crew chief and help him out. And a lot of these guys going down that list, Timmy, you had a few guys in there with you, but you got people in there watching and helping and stuff like that. So there's a lot of sim professional help.
What kind of adjustments? These guys talk about a lot. I mean, obviously, me and Brett don't know nothing about this, but I heard, the guys just talking about like changing where they're sitting, and it's not where they're actually sitting, but I guess their view of where they're sitting in the car, or some of the adjustments you can make to like the display, I guess, that helps you out.
Hang on a second, Brett. Your boy Elliott right now is running laps at Myrtle Beach in a street.
Myrtle Beach Speedway. It's probably his boy Wyatt.
It's probably Wyatt
right now. Maybe, but I don't know. He's pretty good.
Wyatt's better than Brett, so that's not
he's in
hard.
the street stock. Look at that.
Look at him.
That's awesome.
Is he gonna run with us tomorrow?
No, I didn't know Elliott. I mean, he is.
Elliott wants to get into it, so he got a rig. William Byron got him hooked up with a rig a few days ago, and he's been running. So he wants to get in it with you guys.
He's doing good right there.
Heck yeah.
Y'all won't be able to understand a thing he says on that group chat. Y'all be like, "What? What did he say?"
Well, let's
Spit it out.
He won't be racing if he loses current.
So obviously, this is an iRacing thing with Fox, right? NASCAR is not deeply involved, or they weren't originally. They probably are becoming more involved because so many owners and so many sponsors and even drivers were wanting to be a part of the broadcast, right? How much have you guys actually heard from NASCAR? Are they helping you promote? Are they doing interviews? Because obviously this is a huge opportunity for both your brands right now.
Yeah, really, no. The people who we hear from, at least for me personally, I hear from iRacing.
Okay.
I've enjoyed working with iRacing over a long years, many years, really. We put on some different pro invitationals in years past that they invited us to. I really haven't heard from NASCAR at all on this. After I won Texas, some of NASCAR's media reached out to me about doing some interviews, stuff like that. And that's been a big help because really I would love to get my brand out there. Timmy Hill and Garrett Smithley the same way. I would love to be in more communication with them. But no, really it's been iRacing. They've really taken this by the horns, and they really steered this and really helped me out personally.
Yeah, there's been a couple people from iRacing reach out, like Timmy said, just for some media stuff. I'm doing some stuff tomorrow with some Instagram Live and some different media people that's going through NASCAR. I think what they're doing is they're doing a really good job. So this all started, kind of got announced by Ben Kennedy on a Tuesday night, one of the pro nights. And then I got one email from him just kind of talking about, everything that was being put into place. It was before Homestead. And then I think NASCAR is just kind of going through iRacing, because iRacing has a really good line of communication with all the drivers now. I think they've, over the past couple weeks, kind of figured that out. So there's some messaging that they've kind of talked to us about, and just to kind of promote it correctly. But I think all in all, they've all done a really, really good job. It's completely lost in this whole situation how fast this whole thing came together, and how fast the network came on board, how fast NASCAR and iRacing got together to put this on. I think I talked to Tyler Hudson, one of the guys that works at iRacing. I think there's like 4 or 5 guys behind the scenes that they're putting all these races together, all the practice sessions, all the practice races, making sure that everything's ready for us. So when we get to Sunday, when we get to TV, we don't have any issues. And I think they've done a really, really good job capitalizing on that.
I got 2 more questions. Number 1, do we know what the next race is? And number 2, will you guys wear your fire suits for crying out loud on Sunday? You're in the marketing business. You're in the branding business. You got to suit up.
Oh, man, I start sweating while I'm iRacing. I think there's talks about possibly running on Easter weekend, but in the same sense, we're having a debate right now if we should just keep with the Cup schedule. We're going to take Easter off. So it can go 50-50 whether we race Easter weekend or we don't. I think we're leaning towards no, but there's possibilities. So I think it would be the following weekend after that. We'll just keep following the normal Cup schedule.
I don't have a fire suit with my current brand. So I got team T-shirt.
I got one of Elliot's old ones you can wear.
Listen, most of Garrett's fire suits are extremely too tight. Just so, extremely too tight.
So, I can't say nothing. All my clothes are tight these days. Jesus. I got to get the hell out of here.
So the guys at iRacing, obviously, Steve Myers, Tyler, a couple behind-the-scenes guys, Otto, I don't know if you guys know him or not, Kevin Bobbitt and Cupcake, we call him, Kevin Iannarelli. They do a lot of work for this series. They do a lot of the majority of the stuff. And, it's been a lot on them that they had no idea was going to happen this quick or even expected or experienced. So I think they're doing a good job, and keep it up. It's been fun. It's been opened a door to a whole new world here. So it's enjoyable. Hopefully you guys what do you think they could do better during the races?
It's tough because obviously like Bristol was a tough racetrack for us to go to. So that show wasn't quite as good as Texas was, or maybe even Homestead. But that was almost to be expected. Same thing in real life when we go to Bristol, typically a lot more carnage and wrecks and stuff happening that you normally don't see anywhere else. I guess for me, I really want to see the other drivers. And I've seen, like I said, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, these guys are really putting in the time and effort. Some of these guys I wish would follow suit and do more practice and testing. And I think that would ultimately put on a better show. And for these guys, we're in a time slot for television. So you see some wrecks and we don't throw cautions for them. And it's a fine line because we can't throw yellows for every single incident on track. And you don't want to see what happened this weekend with Brad Keselowski sitting off turn 4 and having cars pile into him. But that's the only thing that could get better, but it's a fine line, really.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish that and iRacing's done a good job of putting together some of these practice races. I think the biggest thing is trying to get everybody together before Sunday. And I know that's difficult. Everybody's still got their own lives. Everybody's got their families and everything, and still trying to enjoy that part. But I wish that we could get a bigger group together before Sunday to kind of have that test. I think, like Timmy said, I think some of the guys have done a really good job of taking what they had and kind of building on what their talents are in real life, and then kind of putting it to iRacing, because it is a different skill set. I mean, you're doing the same actions, but there's different nuances in iRacing that you kind of have to deal with that you don't have to deal with in real life.
The next time in real life, when you're running third and you catch the guy running second and you're on fresh tires, you have to follow William Byron. Your spotter's got to be in your head, even though you don't have one, saying, go, go, go. You can't wait. You were riding around protecting the top. Garrett, you were driving me nuts. I was screaming at the TV.
Yeah.
He did it twice. He followed Bowman the first time, and then that's how William got around you, right?
Timmy would have went for it. You got to go for it.
And then, we saw Timmy go for it. Larson told us all about that. Jeez. Brett was mad you spun the wrong Kyle out.
Yeah, I wanted you to wreck Kyle Busch in a heat race. Here comes Kyle. I'm like, wreck it.
Well, hopefully,
cool would it be to see Timmy Hill wreck Kyle Busch?
Oh, I don't know if people love me or hate me.
Well,
they'll all love you.
Brett, we have a race tomorrow night, Brett, for our deal, the replacement deal at your favorite track, Myrtle Beach. So, Myrtle Beach Street Stocks.
Is this thing on TV yet, or is it just being streamed?
It's gonna be streamed. It won't be on TV. But I'm sure Garrett seen it. He's in there. I put races up and practices up like all day with the setup in there, so guys can get on there at any point of the day. and I usually have it set for a race around 9:30, just a 50 lap or something quick, so they can go down there and get a little track time and do a quick race. I've been putting that up for 2 weeks now, so hopefully tomorrow night's a good race.
Garrett,
And,
I can't gamble on racing because of this new law, but I think I can do what Kevin Harvick did. I can put a bounty on TJ. So if you beat TJ in this race, I don't care where he runs. I don't care if you flip him in the stands.
We
I'll
did
pay
a practice.
You $20.
We did a practice
pretty
race
good at
last
the
week,
beach.
and I smoked you a couple weeks ago.
Oh, smoked it.
Didn't I get wrecked catching you?
TJ's got
I ran you
amnesia.
down. I think I have that replay saved. So I will show you. I think I started like almost 20th, and you were running second, and I ran you down.
Post it up, man, because I got in there. I didn't do a single practice lap. I didn't get to qualify. I did my heat race, transferred in. I think you had to run the last chance race, and I finished third.
I might have. But you also – don't tell me you don't have any practice, because I'm going to go look here and look up your stats, and we'll tell you how many races you have.
I don't care. $20 bounty on this guy tomorrow, Garrett. $20.
20, that's it?
Timmy, are you in this race too?
I can be. Should I get invited?
Yes. $20 on both of you to go kick his ass.
I control the invite, so Timmy, just check Wednesday for your invite. We do have Chris Rice in there now, which is going to be interesting. Chris was on our show not too long ago, but we also have Leaf Filter now sponsoring our series, so that's going to help the broadcast stuff. That helps push that along because there's people working on this stuff as jobs, so that helps make that possible.
That's the thing for you guys to realize, and I know it's already realized, but there are a lot of sponsors that spend a lot of money to be in our sport. And right now with the lights off, there's no opportunities except for what you guys are doing. So thanks for what you're putting in. Thanks for the time you're putting in. Timmy, I swear I called you John Travolta on one of the broadcasts that Freddie and I did. I want you to do the staying alive move the next time you win in Victory Lane. We're gonna make t-shirts. Our next t-shirt though we're gonna propose is virtual TJ sucks after the Jimmy Johnson.
Buy that.
Yeah, Jimmy's probably already got one. So Garrett, if you win one, as you cross the start finish line, you need to go ahead and follow the rest of the way out of your chair.
Okay.
Just go down.
Do the whole thing.
All the way out. Then just get up and start celebrating. I mean,
And come up holding a $20 bill.
That's right. That's right.
Don't stand on your chair because it doesn't look like it sits very still.
So Brett,
So I got a bounty.
to get this $20, do I have to win the race or just beat TJ?
You just have to beat TJ.
All right.
Or wreck him.
Done.
If you wreck him or beat him, you get $20, both of you.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, you win, Garrett. I'll wreck him.
And if I win the race, Brett has to pay me $100.
I'm not paying you anything. I'm not even paying you attention.
Well, you already are. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Hopefully we'll see if there's a race this weekend. But where would it be if it's not this weekend? Where's the next race? What's that in Bristol?
Richmond, right?
Oh,
that should be a good one, right? That should be a lot better than Bristol, right?
Yeah.
It'll be good.
I would think so.
Be some guys
It's going to be hard to be worse than Bristol.
I would think so.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
it'll-
Appreciate you coming on. Happy quarantining. Stay safe.